Welcome back everybody to Jake Writes a Book. My name is Jake and I am trying to write a book. Today I want to talk to you about something specific. Specifically how today we're going to submit a novelette. Okay gang, before we get into the nitty gritty with all this novelette publication stuff, I gotta read a memo from corporate. We here at Jake Writes a Book recognize how great our audience is and how lucky we are to have an audience, but the vast majority of the people who watch our videos are not subscribed to the channel. Oh, sad. So if you enjoy this video or any of our other ones, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It's free and you can unsubscribe whenever we annoy you with messages like these. Channel growth is the primary factor in us being able to continue making these videos and investing in the channel. Okay, that's all. I love you. Moving on to the rest of the video. YouTube effect, it's gone. Alright everyone, we have successfully written a novelette. Jake, what is a novelette? Why, a novelette is too dang long to be a short story, but not long enough to be a novella. The word count for novelettes is around 7,500 to 17,500 words. Novelettes are also extremely hard to publish, which is a shame, because they're great. It could take you a month or a year to finish any old lousy book or novella, but a novelette, psh, you could polish that baby off on your car ride to work. Or on a ride to the skate park, kids. Grab your toilet paper, grab your skateboard, because we're about to ourselves on this half pipe. The novelette that I wrote is called The Dead Man at Table 8. If you want to learn more about it, click on the video where we talked about it.
You're just pointing at the sky. There's nothing there.
Can't you put the video there?
No.
The novelette that I wrote is called The Dead Man at Table 8. If you want to learn more about it, we made a video about it, so you can check it out, link in the description. Otherwise, it's time to publish this story. We proofread it, we formatted it correctly, and now it's time to submit. Step 1. After you've proofread your work and done the standard formatting, the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, what type of publishers or lit magazines are you looking for? A horror story with robot vampires won't be a good fit for a magazine that only likes poetry, and your poetry won't be good to submit to a magazine that only likes publishing historical fiction. In this first step, what you really want to do is just Google stuff. Really, it's that simple. There are so many articles online that just have lists of all the publishers that are in the market for short stories. You can even go further by typing publishers that are looking for horror short stories, publishers that are looking for poetry, publishers that are looking for romance, and so on and so on and so on. Step 2, identify 5 potential publishers that would be a good fit for your story. Yes, not 1 and not 100, just 5. Originally, I'd plan on doing 20 submissions per story. After all, the more publishers I submit to, the better shot I have at getting published, right? Wrong. Some magazines only accept stories less than 1,000 words. Others have specific ranges only between 1,000 and 7,000. There's a million different restrictions. Some discourage certain points of view or certain genre types or whatever. I once had a short story written in the second person that I completely reworked just to be able to submit it to a publisher that hated the use of second person. It took me so much time and effort to twist my story into something that this publisher would like or accept, when I could have spent that time writing new stories or revising the older ones. It's much better to go for quality over quantity for submissions. Think of it this way. If I have 5 pieces to publish and I send out each piece to 20 different publishers and each submission takes me 10 minutes, that's about 17 hours spent on submissions. We didn't even factor in the time it takes to find the publication and then mark down the submission that you made in a notebook or spreadsheet. But if we just did those 5 quality submissions per piece, then it would only take about 4 hours or so to submit 5 different stories to 5 publishers. I actually had quite the story build-up, which was a problem. I had 5 short stories finished, and I spent days and days trying to fill in 20 rows on my writing spreadsheet. This mad publisher hunting was a waste of time. It made me exhausted and discouraged about my work. Step 3, every single magazine will have their own unique guidelines, and if you don't follow them, it's a surefire way to make sure that your story doesn't get published in that magazine. You can also find really good information in these guidelines, like bonus tip from the editors, whether or not they'll pay you for an acceptance, or whether or not they'll charge you to submit your story. I would recommend clicking Control F and searching the words fee and pay to check these things really fast on the guidelines page. And then make a note of it in your spreadsheet. Step 4. Write down all the publisher's information into a notebook or Excel sheet. I write down the name of the piece, the date of submission, the publisher's name, how much money they pay, how long the anticipated wait time is for a rejection or acceptance, and whether or not they accept simultaneous or multiple submissions. That's a lot of info, but it's important that you mark it down in that spreadsheet so you only have to look it up once and be done with it. A no simultaneous submission policy means that the magazine doesn't want you to send your story to other publishers if you have already submitted it to them. It's kind of crappy because it's basically like a company saying you can only give them your resume to review before you apply to other jobs. But the problem they're trying to avoid is if you get your story accepted in 2 places and then end up dumping one of the publishers that did accept your piece, that just leaves everybody scrambling to fill the gap that you created by withdrawing your submission. I do sometimes break this rule. Ooh, I know, bad boy. But I don't try to break it too frequently. Multiple submissions refers to whether or not the magazine will let you submit all 5 of your stories at once or just 1 at a time. Make sure you do your best to abide by the rules. Break them at your own peril. I do sometimes, but it's bad. Ooh, bad behavior. Bad. Step 5, reflect on your process. Are you really giving yourself a good shot at getting published with your current process? Are you only submitting to super prestigious publishers like The New Yorker, like exclusively? Because that's dumb. Don't do that. Are you sure you want to submit to publishers that request a fee for submission? Are you sure your story is in the best shape possible? Does it need a revision? Have you read anything about or from the publisher that you want to submit to? These are things to think about. Step 6, the follow-up. After about 6 months, either your work will have been accepted, yay, or rejected. Boo. If all 5 of your submissions fail, it's time to rinse and repeat the process at least 1 more time. Brush up your story, make sure you revise it or look at it with your friends or people from your inner circle. If you don't know what the inner circle is, make sure you check out one of our videos called Always Show Your Friends Your Writing. And then after that, find 5 more quality publishers to submit to that fit your story. And if the thing doesn't get published after another 6 months, who cares? Why shouldn't you care? Because it's just one gosh darn story. Well, that thing is sitting in the slush pile. You have hopefully been working on and submitting other stories. Losing out on one story isn't the end of the world. It's hardly even a lost battle. Having a story being rejected 10 times is a badge of honor, and you should wear it proudly. Remember the original mission. Remember the spike in the wall. If you forgot what I'm talking about, watch our first video. So that's how you should do a submission, especially if it's for a novelette. It's critical that you check those guidelines. After my final review, I'm going to repeat that process a couple more times, and then I don't know. After I've submitted my piece, I'm free to do whatever I want. Kayak down the river, work on my thesis, play Minecraft, write more, whatever. Remember, rejections aren't failures, they're badges of honor. Wear them proudly. That's all I've got for you today. Remember to like, subscribe, and to cyberbully me in the comments about all the ways I'm doing the submission process wrong. Keep reading, keep writing, and I'll see you next time. Really, we're going?
Wait, yeah.
Oh, you moved it a lot. Like a lot. You're like, okay.